Turning now to what I think is one of the more interesting colors in Magic is red. Red, instead of using destroy as far as getting rid of creatures, it uses burn. It's going to deal direct damage to things. So at times it can be direct damage to a creature, which at times makes it hard for a red to get rid of bigger threats. But the burn could also be directed at a player. So all of a sudden, sitting at 3 life against a red deck, you no longer feel very safe. One of the older, more prominent red cards is a 1 mana spell that deals 3 direct damage to any target. So burn has always been and always will be a massive part of the red color identity. Because, like I mentioned, there is not that sort of direct destruction towards creatures, red does instead get artifact and even land destruction. Now, land being the main way that you get mana in order to play spells, this can be a little unpopular within some Magic the Gathering circles. So land destruction is not always a favorite thing. Just for your edification, the title Stone Rain that I have for this channel is actually a pun off of one of those land destruction cards in red, also called Stone Rain. Next, red does a lot of interesting things when they enter combat. The first thing being haste. Most creatures have to wait around for a turn before they can attack. Red really likes to give creatures haste, which lets them attack immediately, allowing them to surprise their opponents kind of out of nowhere with creatures that can attack on the first turn. They will also make combat very difficult for their opponent by giving creatures first strike or double strike. We'll get more into that later on, but really that's just going to be something that complicates combat and can make a small creature a little bit more powerful than it would be otherwise. Finally, red loves to have elements of randomness in it. That can be anything from one of red's favorite exile spells, where it will get rid of a card, but really in return, the card's controller is going to get a random card from their deck onto the battlefield. Red has a tutor that allows you to get any card out of your library for 1 mana, but then you have to randomly discard a card. There are even cards that ask you to flip coins in red. So red has this kind of element of chaos that makes it, I think, quite a fun color within the Magic color pie.